Marcus, he goes by Speedy too. He's done a heck of a job since he showed up, right? He's a worker. He's done everything we've asked of him. He played more in the corner room a year ago, right? Now we see a really good role for him. It's in our safety room, but everyone calls it differently. Whether that's kind of your nickel, mostly plays the field. Whether that's a safety in some people's defense, or they call it the nickel corner. Sometimes in the NFL, that route tree you got to cover in the slot is pretty big, right? Because they got so much room to work. You're not as up close to the sideline. Now you are closer to your help in the post safety, but Marcus done a heck of a job. I mean, he can hold up to the physicality, right? So he can be a force in the run game, right? And then he's obviously got the skills to cover, or he wouldn't have been a corner in the first place. And so we're expecting big things from him. And for us to be as good as we can be on defense, we need him to step up and have a good year.
Coach, we'll stand that same section right in front of me, about 3/4 of the way back.
Good afternoon, Coach. Kennington Lloyd Smith III from The Athletic. You referenced the word identity earlier. As you step into this role full-time, what is your vision for Mississippi State's football's identity under you moving forward?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I've obviously gotten that question quite a bit over the last 8 months. I hope it's a continuation of the identity that Mississippi State's always had as a football program. Tough, hard-nosed, discipline, right? I mean, it's been acknowledged for a long time in this league, right? When you line up against Mississippi State, right, you better pack your lunchbox and hard hat, because it's going to be a physical game, right? I mean, that's what Mike Leach wanted. And when I first interviewed with him and talked to him about what he thinks are the important things about developing a winning football program, right? It's not talking about scheme. It's all about the effort with which you play with, the physicality and the tenacity. Right? Simply put, being the most excited, passionate team who lines up on a field excited to play the game. All right? And that's kind of been Mississippi State's identity forever. I mean, that's who we are at Mississippi State. All right? So I hope it's a continuation of that identity. Because if we can ensure those things as we get through training camp, if we can have a football team who lines up excited to play, right, with a physicality and a determination, right, and a disciplined football team, you got a chance in every game, regardless of scheme. Right? I've been asked a lot of questions about scheme. Right? If you don't have the characteristics of a winning football team, all those things I've mentioned, how you play the game, the effort level, the toughness, right, discipline. If you don't have those things, it don't matter what scheme you employ on either side of the ball, you ain't got a chance. And if you have all those characteristics and you got good players, right, and you're not sabotaging them as coaches with a bad game plan, then it don't matter what scheme you run, you got a chance in every game. Right? Those are the fundamental core principles to winning football. Scheme is just, what it flows through.
Coach, we'll go to the middle section, standing up about 3/4 of the way back, right down the middle.
Hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall, WHBQ in Memphis. Quick question about Mike Wright. I thought he was one of the most underrated players in the league last year at Vanderbilt. They won several games with him at quarterback. They don't beat Kentucky, and they don't beat Florida without him. He was dynamite, and I'm wondering how you think you might use him. Do you mix him with Will at quarterback, and how he might fit in to help you guys this year?
Yeah, I mean, Mike's obviously a really talented guy, like you mentioned, right? I mean, there ain't a lot of quarterbacks on the transfer portal market who got SEC victories on their resume. He's one of them, right? He's incredibly athletic, talented. He can hurt you both with his arm and with his feet. I mean, make no mistake about it, right? I mean, Will Rogers is our starter, right? And his resume speaks for itself. But Mike, there's a lot of things Mike can do and wrinkles that we can add in the game plan that could allow us to be really dynamic on offense. And there are situations within a game, certain areas of the field, down in distances, where he can create some opportunities for explosive plays for you on offense. And so we had a need at the quarterback position. Right? We lost a couple kids to the transfer portal. They decided that a better location would be a better fit for them. And we were able to go out and get like you said, a proven guy who's got SEC experience, starts under his belt, who's won games in this conference, to have him come in and provide depth, and then give us avenues to create more packages within the offensive game plan and generate more explosive plays. That's going to be a real asset to our offense.
Coach will go right in front of me, second row. Tom.
Hey, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Following up on Bob's question, he asked about what aspects of maybe Mike Leach as a head coach that you might kind of maybe incorporate in what you do. And also, you spoke to the media as a defensive coordinator. I wonder how maybe that helped you in what you're doing today and what you've done as a head coach so far.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with that one. Obviously, I did have the privilege. Coach Leach did not have a gag order on me or the other coaches in terms of talking to the press. And so I haven't thought about it up until you asked that question. But obviously, yeah, I've had some experience having to get behind the podium and address questions from the press. And so that is experience that hopefully will serve me well as I transition into this new role. There's obviously a lot of wisdom, nuggets of wisdom that I received from Coach Leach over the last 3 years. I mean, simply put, I look at it as a blessing. I got to spend 3 years under what, in my opinion, is a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, his fingerprints and his impact on the game of football are evident throughout, particularly offensive play in modern football. Talking to our quarterback earlier, he goes, hey, you tell me an offense in college football who does not run Y cross or 95 as it's known in the air raid world, right? Every team you play every week runs that play. Right? That's a Coach Leach and Coach Mummy idea that has taken over the game of football. But again, there are a lot of things. There's a lot of slogans and words said in our building over the last 3 years, right? Don't listen to the noise. Play the next play. All things that were kind of the DNA of Mike Leach's program that we still say to this day. Right? And they're said in every other football building across the country. Maybe not in those exact words, but in other ways, right? Right? Control the controllables. Right? Worry about the things you can control. Right? All of those things. Those aren't just buzzwords or slogans or catchphrases that coaches say because they're good to have in a building. No, they're actually critical to winning football and right, developing a winning football team. Right? So a lot of the same things that were being preached over the last 3 years, well, my beliefs are the exact same as Coach Leach, right, about what it is that goes into a winning football team. So we repeat a lot of the same things. And on certain walls, maybe some words are different or pictures change or whatever, but there is a lot that I have taken from Mike Leach and will continue to be an influence on our program moving forward.
Coach will go to the middle section over to the right. Along the aisle. We have one over there? Nope. Okay, we'll go back over here to the left, on the left side.
Hi, Zach. Tyler Palmatier for the Oklahoman.
Sorry about that.
You and athletic director Zach Selman are in an interesting situation. You're both younger. You both got your jobs around the same time. What's it been like working with him in these last few months, both kind of taking on new roles and tackling a goal at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, simple answer has been very good. We have the privilege and luxury. We happen to work for a university president, right, who is about the most well-respected, well-regarded men in all of college athletics, and Dr. Mark Keenum, right? And his leadership, along with that of our athletic director, Zach Selman, I mean, it is evident, right, to anyone who sees it that we have the right people at the top of the organization guiding our athletic department. And so it's been fun to work with him on a daily basis. He's with me here today actually, and it's going to be fun going forward.
Coach, thank you for your time this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hail State.